was that?
How you doing? Yeah, I just listen for you.
Good evening to those viewers joining us live here on the Super Sports Schools live feed brought to you by Enhanced Sports Media. We are here for the final game this evening of the first day of the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. We have hosts Riverside, led by Captain Taylor Kelly Stack, up against the old Edwardians from Johannesburg, led by Captain Michael Marquis. The toss is underway. It looks like Riverside have won, and Taylor Kelly Stack is clearly indicating the direction in which he would like to play. Joining me this evening in the commentary box, or commentary scaffolding, Michael Baker, coach extraordinaire, has been away at a hell of a lot of hockey this week. Probably the last place you'd like to be, watching another hockey ball being thrown around the field, but not a more passionate hockey guy will you find. Mike, lovely to have you.
What's happening, Pates? What a place to be. Perfect evening down here at Riverside at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. Haven't seen a crowd like this in a long time around the turf. I think we're in for an epic clash here.
Absolutely, Mike. Since COVID, we've obviously had no events, and I think this is actually the first men's hockey tournament we've potentially seen since 2019. I know we've had the recent under 21 IPT down in East London, but at a men's level and in particular at a club level, there has been nothing for 3 years now, and yeah, I'm not surprised that the numbers are out here in full force. If you are at home, you should be here. The DJ is pumping out some great tracks. There are cold refreshments on sale and some delicious food. As we see both teams walking out, Old Eds and Riverside often have this first game as the opening clash for all that I can remember in my past years at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge, and it always ends up being an absolute cracker. So I think we've got a really mouth-watering fixture on our hands here, Mike.
Bates, who would you say are some players to watch tonight?
Mike, tonight for the Riverside side, absolutely go with Captain Taylor Kelly-Slack. He's going to look to dominate from the back. It's just the nature of his game. Obviously, the Robinson brothers have been around for donkey's years and know what they're doing on hockey field. I'm also really, really excited to see two youngsters, Ross Montgomery and Mitchell Jagger, who were actually with you in the KZN Under 18 team that picked up the silver medal at Under 18 IPT in Stellenbosch.
Yeah, Pate. I mean, Monty was absolutely world class, and I mean, I know Taylor Kelly-Slack for his flick, but Monty's flick is absolute magic. He scored a couple of goals against Namibia in that Under 18 series, and Jagger, I mean, he's probably scored the greatest goal I've ever seen as a coach. Still said to name one of my kids Jagger Baker after the goal he scored against Inland in that semi-final. A man with so much BMT and for the big moments.
Just looking at huddle, I think that's young Adam Chislett I also see there for the Riverside. So they are packing a really well-balanced team of youth and experience tonight. Yeah, very excited to see what the Rapids are going to do this evening. Onto the Old Edwardians team. To be honest, not particularly clued up with too many of them. I know obviously Cody van Baker, old Wits boy, coached by Ricky West. I know what he's going to do. Just going to be sound throughout the entire game. Mark de Jager, goalkeeper for the Old Eds. Dill Swanepoel will definitely be a threat to the top of the circle for the Old Edwardians tonight. Have you seen much of Dill Swanepoel flick?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a heat flick, and I'm sure he'll be their go-to at PC time. I met up with Anthony Woodhouse at Under 18 RPT, and I think he backs his charges against Riverside tonight. I think we're in for a good clash. Two competitive teams. Chad Burke, not a bad player as well. Couple good ones there. Tristan Forrester, I remember him. I think he's an ex-Parktown boy. Couple of good players here to watch.
And we're about to get underway here at this final game of the evening. Just waiting for one or two formalities. And off we go.
Riverside with their standard 2-3-2-3 press.
Yeah, we often see them displaying that in the league. It works really well for them.
Didn't work against VC though, Paige.
It definitely worked for two of the four chuckers, Mike. Yeah, and some opportunities fell our way and we were able to take our chances. Always nice to see in the early stages of a game to see what both teams are going to bring offensively and defensively. The Old Eds look to be sitting a hell of a lot deeper out, almost half court now, which is quite interesting and quite typical of Ant Woodhouse. I think he likes to throw a couple of curveballs to teams not expecting such a thing as a half court to start a game.
Yeah, showing a lot of respect to Riverside. Yeah, as Kelly-Slack looks to link up with Tanner Bottomley. Both of them won gold. Tanner is the under 16B Coastal's coach, and Taylor is the assistant coach, looking to get their little gold connection earlier.
Yeah, it is these times of the game where players are looking to generally find the guys who they're really comfortable to connect with. It's just an easier way to get into a game. And I'm sure that having spent the last week together, their connection is really strong, both on and off the field.
100%. And Coach JC's been at Riverside now for 2 years. I think they're well in motion now, and everyone knows what's expected of them. You see Keegan Robinson getting out of the pocket there.
It looks to me Riverside have gone back 3-2 blockers, playing one of the midfielders really high and wide. Generally is Brendan Smith fetching there on the outside touchline, but this is the risk. If the turnover is such that it's in that midfield area, the higher midfielder has a really long way to work to come back as some counter cover.
100%. I can see Sean Baker really having a chat to the back four. I mean, being a forward, it's tough getting heights and coming back on these quick turnovers.
Good collection by John T. Robinson. Will show his experience in this, in that particular instant and in this game. He obviously has a world of experience.
John T. throwing a little overhead to Taylor Kelly Stack, who's looking to connect with Monty.
Riverside not happy with that blow. They feel like it could have gone the other way. Nonetheless, no need to worry about the umpire's decision. Just get back and reset and go again, really. That's a piercing ball in from, I can't seem to see which old Edwardian player that was, but a really, really menacing ball into the Riverside 22, but unable to be collected by any of the old Edwardian strikers.
Yeah, the Edwardians press seeming to work at the moment. John T looking for a big overhead to Sean Baker here. Very rare to see Sean Bakes not trapping an overhead there.
I was Riverside. I might have gone upstairs for that one. It looks like I think Sean could have had a case on that aerial takedown with the old Edwardian defender being a little bit too close to them. And then on that second phase, I felt like the Edwardian defender jabbed that ball into the body of Ross Montgomery, if I'm not mistaken. Nonetheless, maybe too early to go upstairs, and they would rather just reset.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how teams use their review and who gets to call it. I mean, Pace, do you let any player call it, or I mean, how would you use it?
Yeah, Bex, I think you generally find one of the calmer heads on the field to make the decision, and a lot of it is the time of the game, and the person who is involved in the situation generally should be aware of what has happened, unless it's a really heated situation and he is uncertain, and then it comes down to the cool head saying, no, let's not, guys, let's save it. It's not the end of the world. Also a game situation, eh? If you need a goal to get back from 1-0 down and you're dying seconds of a game,
go for it.
Generally the cooler head.
And both teams obviously with loads of experience and guys who'll know when and how to use it. Tanner Bottomley, his nickname when I play against him is Backward Bots. He always rolls the ball backwards.
He's found himself into the midfield blocking zone. Tanner, also another guy incredibly passionate about the game and gives so much of his time back to it.
And he's rocking a new pair of Nikes there that I've seen him throwing around on social media.
But it's funny, I've only seen the Argentinian ladies with those Nikes, so I'm not quite sure how he's able to nab a pair. Riverside looking really, really composed in their build-up, finding young Adam Chizzard on the right-hand touchline. And I like old Edwardians' depth on their press, but I'd like them to just start to make a little bit more of, or find a little bit more purpose on that depth. At the moment, that depth is just there. Riverside aren't really struggling to penetrate the old Edwardians half and their 22. So I think Coach Anthony Woodhouse will have a word with him at the end of this first chucker.
Yeah, 100%. And Riverside starting to get comfortable in this game. as they're getting a couple circle entries. Riverside on the ball. The 2Ks in under 18 boys connecting. Ross Montgomery and Mitchell Jagger. Better build-up play from Edwardians. But John T just showing his experience.
Definitely not John T's first hockey game. Ball out wide to Chisholm in space. He's looking up for a lead. Edwardians finding an outlet down this left-hand side.
Matt Smith just winning a free hit there to relieve some pressure. All the Edwardians looking to threaten off the counter.
Young Nick Pio in the blocking position with John T.
It's good to get players like Nick Pio back in the province.
Couldn't agree more, Mike. We often see our really top quality youngsters in Natal moving up to the land of the Tucks or down to Marty's. And yes, the opportunities are fantastic for them, but yeah, it is fantastic that they come back to their roots. And yeah, obviously club hockey in Durban, we really need that quality.
And it's the first short corner of the game for Riverside.
Awarded by umpire Rappaport, incredibly experienced umpire. I mean, these players can consider themselves extremely lucky to have somebody of his caliber officiating at a club level.
Yeah, definitely the best officials in the country down at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. As Riverside set up for the first short corner of the game. I mean, we both know Kelly Stack on the flick is a threat against any PC defense, and I'm sure that's going to be their first option. Try and set the ejection, and there's it there. Kelly Stack with the finish.
Fantastic flick from Tails. It's a great one for the youngsters out there if you are tuned into the live stream of not having to flick everything into the net all the time or the top corner, and he's just gone with an absolute banker, low, hard to the what I thought was the keeper's bottom right, and it really is tough for the keeper.
Top flick by Kelly Stack. And again, if you look at his social media, he's just moved across to Oregon. Some might say that's the reason he scored that goal. Oh, all the audience on the other end.
Bakes, it's either the stick or that Sport RX drink he had prior to the game. Definitely is giving him that edge.
Could be the pre-workout.
Let's hope he shares it with his fellow teammates this evening. Cody van Wyk on the ball. Outside to Adam McLean. He's unfortunate.
He's just struggling to connect you, Pates.
Yeah, Mike, they just need to keep their build-up smaller. And they don't have to go 100 miles an hour. Just keep it short, keep it small, get the players making contact with the ball, and that's the way to get into it. If they start chasing this 1-0, it might be a long night for them.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure from Riverside, just more of the same. Keep winning PCs.
Play on the ball, Michael Markey, an ex-Wits boy. I've had the opportunity of watching him for a few years at USA, and my word, he plays well beyond his age. He's seriously calm, cool, collected. He captained the Wits first team last year, and he has gone straight from varsity hockey to put on the captain's band at a regular club. So just a testament to his leadership ability, and he's going to be an absolute rock for Edwardians this evening.
Yeah, I saw in an earlier game, the team from Joburg just took a chucker to settle in. I think most of the teams have flown in today. I'm sure we'll see more from them as the game continues.
Jet lag can really play a part from Joburg, and obviously the Joburg teams, there's a lot more oxygen down here than they're used to, so they're obviously extremely excited, hence the reason the tempo is so upbeat in the beginning.
Edwardians starting to connect. Forestier driving into the D. Kelly Stack calm and composed.
What looks to be Sean Baker, Kelly Stack, great long ball. Sean Baker driving down the left-hand touchline. Good challenge by skipper Michael Marquis on Bakes, leading to a long corner for the Riverside Rapids.
And Chislett back on the ball. Riverside just moving the Edwardians press. Tanner Bottomley. Nike shoes just getting in the way there.
I remember a few years ago we actually weren't allowed any white shoes in hockey because it made it really difficult for the umpires to differentiate between the ball in really tight situations. But I'm glad they're back, and no better ambassador to have wearing a pair of white Nikes than Tanner backwards Bottomley. Great intercept by Montgomery. Here we go. We could have some action here, Bakes.
Yes, Montgomery, national under 18A player, just beat Namibia, looking to win a short corner, and that's the class of this kid, Bates. Hopefully they give him a flick after that.
Absolutely deserves it. I hope they give him a minute to take a breather there. Not many options for him, and just shows the composure of the young man. Able to he brought in 3 or 4 players. Strong spin outside to where the space is, brings in a defender, exposes his feet onto his feet. You know, really great decision from such a young man. And by the looks of it, it could be his time.
Be him on the flick.
What's your call, Bakes? Are you going Keegan Robinson first, Castle, Ross Montgomery?
100%. Monty should put it away.
In Holland, we call it a doelpunt, which is a goal. And a fantastic finish from Monty again. I'm not sure if they have any footage of the old Edwardians keeper, but both flickers have seemed to go on bottom right, and it looks like the place that the ball could be flicked this evening.
Yeah, I think we both know as coaches that's the right area to flick. But obviously now maybe as Riverside have gone 2-0 up, it might give us 1 or 2 flicks for the crowd. But I mean, Monty's been absolutely immense at school and for the under 18A side against Namibia.
Must be about his 400th goal in the past 2 weeks.
All from top D and short corner time.
Now, Bakes, as a coach, what do you go with in your next short corner that Riverside get? This early on in a tournament like this, do you just keep going with the flickers, or do you give your greater battery a bit of an opportunity in terms of variation?
Yeah, for me, I definitely want the flickers to gain a bit of confidence. I mean, we haven't had lead for a couple of weeks, so someone like Katie Stack, I don't know how much flicking he's been doing. So I definitely would try and get the flickers a bit more confidence and maybe not really give away too much. Yeah, and for me, you know, you've got your 2 flickers. You don't need 3 or 4. Get the 2 confidence and keep some of the variations for the bigger games.
Absolutely. I think as we head towards the end of this first quarter, we have Riverside Hockey Club from Durban leading Old Edwardians from Joburg 2-0. I think Old Edwardians really would like to get into this break. That is an audacious aerial takedown from Ross Montgomery, and it's worked out really well.
Sean Baker driving towards the D. Edwardians captain winning the ball. Edwardians looking to get back into this game as the home side look to defend their title. You see Keegan Robinson back on the ball.
Robinson, Chisler's going to walk it up. I think they can see the clock and That brings us to the end of the first chukker here in this final game of the first day of the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. Riverside Hockey Club leading Old Edwardians 2-0. Mike, what do you think will be on the table here for both coaches?
I mean, if I'm JC, Max Caldes, I think much more of the same. Keep winning PCs, and with flickers of Kelly Stack and Monty's quality, just keep putting the PCs away. And Edwardians, like I'd love to see them just take the game on a bit more, press a little bit higher. I think they almost started a bit negative, and Riverside used that to their advantage.
Absolutely, Bakes. Knowing Anthony Woodhouse, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a change in press in the second chukker. I think they can't sit back and allow Riverside to just carry the ball that high into the Edwardians half. They're going to have to put them under a bit of pressure higher up in the circle. But yeah, let's wait and see. And an enticing second chukker we have on the cards here. And we're off, starting the second chukker of the final game of day one of the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. Riverside Hockey Club leading the Old Edwardians from Joburg 2-0. Riverside with much of the possession and looking very, very calm and composed in their build-up, and incredibly clinical in their PCs.
Edwardians starting deep again. Yeah, I'm hoping they eventually press a little bit higher. Just take the game on. I mean, we're here for a weekend of hockey. Let the boys play, please. Let the boys play.
Absolutely, Bakes. A lot of young men on this field, and I'm sure they have a tremendous amount of energy. And let's let them press as hard and as fast as they can. Good work there from young Mitchell Jagger. Just unfortunately giving away the free hit with a slight stick tap. Great ball from, I think that's Chad Burke, if I'm not mistaken. Great aerial misjudged by Taylor Kelly Stack. Sees the Edwardians entering the circle. Lots of sticks, lots of noise.
Oh, we could see a review here, Pete.
First review of the game. Really difficult one for me, Bakes. There's a lot of things going on there on that 9-yard area. I think the right decision from Eric Etzebeth not to necessarily blow something he's not quite sure of, and give the opportunity for the teams, if they've seen or heard something that they are sure of, they can go upstairs.
100%, you can't blow what you don't see. But it's a good time to use the review. You're 2-0 down, trying to get back in the game.
The Old Edwardians, often you can tell by body language, but they don't seem particularly confident. They've kind of set up to be ready for a press, but maybe that is the best thing to do, just in case the decision doesn't go your way.
100%.
Did they have third umpire reviews at under 18 IPT?
No, yeah, we weren't spoiled with that. Yeah, I don't know if they will bring that into the game, but it's brilliant to see this at a club tournament. They're bringing third umpires into the game.
Absolutely, it just adds that next level of professionalism to our club levels, which I think is one of our biggest struggles in South Africa. We just lack that next step at this club level in particular. When we compare ourselves to the leagues in Europe, such as the Dutch league and the Belgium league, they just seem to take it to the next level. And this is a minor stepping stone, but yeah, glad to see it being taken.
100%. I think we need to show our clubs a bit more love, because again, that's where all our top coaches are, our top players are, and if we can make club hockey a lot better, then our players are getting better, clubs are investing more money, and as a country we just start to develop a little bit more.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I wonder if that is unable to make a decision, so Old Edwardians potentially could keep their referral, or they have lost it, because there was just quite a big delay with getting a final decision out of that, and if they haven't been able to get a clear-cut decision, then I think Old Edwardians might still have their referral, but we'll have to wait to see if we can get some feedback
100%.
from guys behind the scenes.
But it's good to see Edwardians get a circle entry and try and get back in the game. As we see, it's a bit dish out the first card.
In the previous fixture, Wanderers and Kersey, we actually didn't see a single card the entire game, which is a great testament to both teams.
Richard Jagger back on the ball. He can be a real threat inside the final third as he looks to connect.
Nick Pio unfortunately able to get anything out of that. Great experience shown there by Dylan Swanepoel. He's also been around the block.
Jeepers. Whipping out the backhand overhead. You don't see it often, Bates.
Folks, that is what I'm here to see at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. Giving the people what they want. Fantastic backhand aerial out of pressure there from Dylan Swanepoel. And I think unluckily not going Old Edwardians' way. I feel like their attacker was in the space first. I would have liked to have seen them actually be rewarded. Fantastic skill and great lead into space.
100%. I think the overhead rule is always a tough one to blow.
Absolutely. I think the most misinterpreted rule out in our game at the moment, and don't ask me because I don't know. There are a couple of various definitions of it. But let the umpires call it for what they feel and hope both umpires on the same day are on the same page.
100%. As we see Keegan Robinson ball up play again, with Taylor Kelly-Stack. John T with all his experience back on the ball. Bruce Grant.
Speaking of experience, I think Bruce played in the first Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. He actually could have played in the first hockey fixture on this actual very AstroTurf. Oh!
An easier goal you would see, Bates. Just move the ball and push into the bottom corner.
Just showing everyone out there how simple this game can be played. If you just trap and roll to the next line, we'll start to see it. Next line. They got a bit lucky with one or two touches there, but just a really good finish from Brendan Smith. A very, very sneaky 9-yard character. Smithy, he will be on his knees and he will have the most methylate on his elbows by the end of this weekend. I can guarantee you that.
100%. Smithy is one of those players, if you're a coach, you just can't leave out.
Absolutely. You can't buy that commitment. Opportunity for Old Eds. And there he is, our man Smithy, from scoring goals to saving them. Is it too early to award man of the match, Bakes?
No. But I mean, we both know he's a top cricketer. And he's just showing a bit of his inner Jacques Callas there.
Interesting fact, he's actually also a top gamer. I had the privilege of playing with him a couple of years ago, and we'd often catch him in the change room playing games on his cell phone.
Jeepers. What games is he playing?
I'm not sure. We didn't really ask because he was so in the zone, but it was his way of prepping, and it works. do what you need to do for yourself, and everyone else in the change room can respect that, and that's what we did. And Smithy is still giving everybody what Smithy.
Bit of Nokia 3310 Snake, eh?
I think nowadays with the smartphones around, the game might have been a little bit more sophisticated. But we see a lifted ball into what looks like the neck or possibly the side of the face to Dylan Swanepoel, but he is a tough man, and he'll get on with the game. It's a bit scrappy. I can't really decide over these last two or 3 minutes who really has much concrete possession. We seem to be seeing a few turnovers creeping in as we head into the second half of the second chukka. Both teams have kind of sussed each other out and are starting to hopefully conjure up some plans, in particular from the coach's side of things.
Yeah, 100%. You see all Edwardians look for the overlap here on the left-hand side and go for the overhead option. Obviously trying something out here. Nearly worked. A couple of mistraps starting to creep in. Is it too early to be seeing tired legs here, Pete?
Bakes, unfortunately it is very, very early to be seeing tired legs, if that was what we were seeing. This is a really, really tough tournament. Not only the hockey on the field, but just the festivities afterwards, where the clubs get to do what clubs should do, and just sorry, as we see an opportunity for old heads. Yeah, the festivities afterwards are just as important for these club teams. I mean, they run for each other week in and week out, and it's just reward playing in such a prestigious tournament like the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. And yeah, they definitely do reward themselves after every game, regardless of the result.
100%. This is why we play club hockey. This is why we play hockey. As the Edwardians look to get back into the game, yeah. Bates, we know of the 2-0 trap. Is there such thing as a 3-0 trap?
Bakes, I hope not, because that would just bring further fear into the eyes of us coaches being 3-0 up. I'd happy to accept a 2-0 trap because I've been involved with a number of them on both sides of the field. But I think 3-0 for Riverside at the current state of play, it looks like it's going to be a really, really tough ask for the Old Edwardians, especially with the firepower that the Riverside team is displaying, in particular with the youngsters up front.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to work with some of those youngsters, and they are really classy players. As Kelly Stack looks for the big ball through the lines there to connect with Vishan, another KZN under 18 player.
This Riverside team is littered with young talent. And then we see Ross Montgomery, not 5 there. Eric Etzebeth warns him with a little green card. He can have a break for 2 minutes. Obviously, JC won't be too happy with that. It always puts a team under pressure when the opposition do have an extra number.
100%. Ross Montgomery's been busy these last couple of weeks. Maybe Coach JC wasn't subbing him quick enough, so he thought he'd have a little break. As we see Edwardians trying to get back into the game with a great ball.
Great ball into the D from Dylan Swanepoel. Unfortunately, the touch from the Old Edwardians striker just going past the left-hand upright. And I think on target that might have gone in. I'm not sure. Keeper Garrett Goldman had that one covered, so that could have been a real game changer heading into the last 5 minutes of the second chukka.
100%. Riverside, obviously without Gowan Jones, as he's away at the Commonwealth Games, and Dion Ostays and I think leaves tomorrow to an SA under 21 camp. So it's a great opportunity for young keepers like Garrick and Josh Kippen.
I know Gowan Jones does really enjoy this tournament. As a player of his caliber, just the professionalism of how this tournament is run, it's just right down Gowan's alley. He loves doing things properly, and this is exactly what you get from the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge, a proper hockey tournament.
100%. Riverside just managing the card at the moment. Adam Chisholm back on the ball.
Been really impressed with the youngsters of the Riverside team, and obviously you had the privilege of coaching them this past week. They really are showing play beyond their age.
100%. Jagger, Chiz, and Monty in particular were big players on my side. They came up in big moments, and I'm sure they'll add value to any team they play for.
We see all the audience on the attack here with Chad Burke, loses control. Good work there from Nick Pia, I think, getting a jab just before Chad Burke could really get control outside the top of the circle there.
Edwardians enjoying some possession. Cut out by the ever-experienced Jonty Robinson.
Dylan Chapman slowing play down for the Rapids there, just working free at exactly what you want as a coach in a broken play situation like that. You're asking your player to just firm up the game, get a free hit and let us reset. That's exactly what Chappie has given Riverside the opportunity to do. It looks like a penalty corner. Bakes, yeah, I unfortunately was blinded by this incredibly high light pole, but I think it's not. I think it could have been not for not being 5, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, it's a big blow. Umpire setting the tone early, saying to the players, you know the rules. Will we see another goal here with Riverside's great PC attack? Kelly Stack making his mark. And the flick just goes wide. Kelly Stack seems to go down after every flick.
Yeah, there seems to be, watching John C. Robinson's body language there, he's not very happy with the line of the first wave. Be interesting to see that line, but unfortunately sometimes that is what the game is. If he's able to get a flick away, then yeah, unless there's anything I lost my word, anything on purpose or with any intention to hurt a player, then he will obviously see a card from the umpire. But if he's running a really good line and he can't get out the way, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Edwardians cutting that Riverside attack out, looking to play quickly and just giving the ball away at the moment.
Kelly Stack to John T. Robertson into the blocker position for Grant. Riverside a little bit exposed with 3 at the back and 1 in that blocking position, but great touch from Bottoms to Chizard, who sends a ripper across the circle, unable to be picked up by what looked like Dylan Chapman. But Riverside signaling their intent here. Ball gone out on the sideline. Looks like they're going to be full press in here.
Yeah, Riverside not having players in the D there, Pate. Yeah, 3 at the back. I expect a couple of players to be a bit higher.
100%. We often at our club level, we get caught with so many guys coming to fetch the ball. Instead of identifying the closest person to be that fetcher for you, and everyone gets higher. Unfortunately, there is only one hockey ball and one person can get it at one time. And the sooner we learn those kind of skills, yeah, the sooner we can grow.
100%. I think the modern player, everyone thinks they're a bit of a fetcher. As we see Riverside moving the ball well again. Can't be too much time left on the clock.
Tanner Bottomley must have got some press stick with those boots, because that ball is not moving off his stick this evening. Thanks. Matt
Smith looking to make his mark in this game.
Riverside don't need to force it here. They're 3-0 up. 1 minute, more or less 1 minute left on the clock. I like to see them just keeping the ball. Make the old Edwardians chase a bit here. Ultimately cannot do anything wrong in the second chucker. Absolute screamer. But also his play has just been really simple for me. Hasn't complicated. Play to your strengths. And I think that's where Riverside are really winning these battles. Not doing anything extra or out of their comfort zone, just sticking to what they do best.
100% Bates. Might find myself in the Nike store tomorrow getting a pair of bottom in his boots. They seem to be making the difference at the moment.
Chizzett to Robinson. Robinson looking up. Finds Chizzett on the overlap on the outside again. Unable to be picked up by young Daralotta, who has just actually come back from USA hockey tournament representing DUT, if I'm not mistaken. I saw him running around up front there, full of energy and some tremendous skill. He definitely broke some ankles there in that B section at USA, and great to see him coming from that tournament to participate in this fantastic elite club challenge at the highest club level.
As Taylor Kelly-Stack looks to run down the clock here. Can't be too much longer left.
It does seem to be a lot of space in that old Edwardians midfield. And there we go. That is a hooter that brings us to the end of the second chukker and concludes the first half of this encounter between Old Edwardians from Joburg and Riverside Hockey Club of Durban. Riverside leading 3-0 and looking very, very comfortable at this stage. Bakes, words from the coaches in this 5-minute break?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'd love to see Edwardians just applying a bit more pressure. I mean, there's a phase where Riverside had the card and they still weren't pressing high. You know, for me, just apply a bit more pressure, because at the moment Riverside are quite comfortable. And if Edwardians aren't going to do that, then as Justin Collins, I would just say more of the same. Keep possession, win short corners, yeah, and try and keep it as comfortable as possible.
Fantastic, great analysis. And we'll be back in about 4 minutes for the start of the second half. Welcome back to those joining us live from our Super Sports Schools coverage brought to you by Enhanced Sport Media. We are about to kick off the second half of this thrilling encounter between Riverside Hockey Club from Durban, hosts of the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge, against old Edwardians who have travelled down from Joburg to participate in this fantastic event. Riverside currently sitting comfortable at 3-0 and seem to be dominating much of the possession here, or in the first half, should I say. It's going to be really interesting to see what all the Edwardians come up with in the second half to counter the simplicity of the Riverside outletting in particular this evening. As we see Riverside not on your picture right now, have just left the huddle and are slowly walking back onto the pitch. All the Edwardians showing some intent, and they are ready to get the second half underway. As I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Michael Baker. We're ready to get going here at the start of the second half. Just waiting for umpire Sean Rappaport to make his way to his position, and it looks like we'll be underway. I think we're in for an exciting 30 minutes, Bakes.
Yeah, 100%. Wanderers with nothing to lose and looking to get back into this game. Hopefully, Coach Woody gives the guys some license to play as we see him starting to press a little bit higher. Hopefully, this will lead to a bit more exciting hockey.
Quite interesting looking at this view of the game. I see Riverside still with their three at the back, and Jonty sitting quite deep in their pocket. There's Bottoms. I missed him on the touchline.
Backwards Bots. Playing it backwards again. But I mean, Riverside at 3 at the back with the 1 in the midfield. Good opportunity to isolate some of those defenders if Edwardians just pressed a little bit higher.
Great take from Edwardians number 10. Selitak. Kelly Sack gets his 5, but unfortunately makes a rather exciting tackle, and Sean Rappaport deems it to be a little bit too physical for his liking and has awarded Edwardians with their first PC of the game coming into the start of this third chukker.
Is this the moment we see Dil Swanepoel make his mark on this game?
Absolutely. If there's ever a time for a flicker like Dil Swanepoel, now is the time.
Edwardians with push, Swan on the flick. It's a great air by Keegan Robinson.
Good area from Dil Swanepoel, flicking low again, showing the experience of our flickers on show this evening. Bakes, we haven't seen a flicker going high, and to those watching at home, just illustrating again, it doesn't have to be into the top corner of the net, just has to be low and hard and in the goal.
100%, and obviously, most importantly, hitting their target, forcing the save. Misconnection there from Riverside with the aerial as Edwardians just put a bit more pressure, forcing Riverside to go with the aerial route. Hopefully we see more pressure from the Edwardians. Riverside also pressing a little bit higher.
Great pickup from the doctor, Bruce Grant, finding Jonty Robertson, threads it to our man. Monty incredibly strong on the ball. Jonty Robertson aerial to Brennan Smith. Well kept in by Monty, and fantastic finish by Vishen Govender.
A little KZN 18A connection there. Monty and Vish were doing that all week, a couple of weeks ago. But again, it all started with the experience of John Robinson with that aerial ball. It's Smithy. Great goal there in the end there by Riverside.
Really, really calm finish by Vishen Govender, showing a really cool head to just flip it on his reverse stick under or between the keeper's legs. I couldn't quite pick that up clearly enough, but Riverside has stamping their authority on this fixture very early on in this third Chukka Bakes.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, to defend their title. Making a mark early on in this tournament as we see John T. Robinson solid in defense.
It's a great opportunity for Riverside now to work on a couple plays. If they do have some set plays, look to carry some outletting momentum into tomorrow, where I think they'll have a really, really tough encounter against the Baloo lads. For what we could see from behind us in the field next door, it's going to be a really great encounter. I don't think the Baloo boys are as organised, but sometimes that unorganised and the unknown is actually more difficult to play against. But let's see what the Riverside guys can do.
100% Riverside, obviously, with a slightly more structured game, could be unsettled by a team like Baloo. And as we know, a team like Baloo won't sit back tomorrow. Riverside just failing to connect there.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit too many aerial options. For me, I like to see the ball being played on the ground a bit more from both teams.
Jonty going with the long handle there. Tanner Bottom, you're going to get a nosebleed being so high on the field here.
Obviously had some great opportunity to do some running in the mountains in Stellenbosch. The young Bottoms, he's come into this fixture looking incredibly fit this evening. Great ball from Jonty, finds Jagger high in the field but unable to trap. Those are the areas where if I was a defensive team and a young man like Jagger was getting into the ball, I'd start to worry.
100%. And a guy like Jagger, you don't want him receiving the ball on his backhand.
He gives that tomahawk a good whack.
Jeez. Riverside pressing higher and forcing the turnover from Edwardians. Riverside just starting to get a little bit more comfortable. Kelly Stack back on the ball.
Great decision there by Keegan Robinson in that moment there. He could have had the opportunity to go forward, but he decided against it. Funnel up, leave it, look to build up, look to set up a few plays and build some momentum.
Wait, I'd still like to see the audience just apply more pressure to this Riverside press.
Absolutely, Bakes. I couldn't agree more. If you're going to give it a go, now's the time. 4-0 down. There's not a lot to lose now. We saw it in the game before at halftime. Wanderers were leading the Kersey Gentlemen 5-0. And the Kersey boys just upped their press. And, I mean, the game finished that second half was 2-1 only. And I know the final score finished at 7-1, but just a much better second half performance. And I can put it down to just the pressure exerted from the Kersey boys. They didn't let the Wanderers guys have as much space and time as they did in the first half. And it worked in their favour, as we see Old Edwardians making a great run into the baseline, and Sean Rappaport adjudicates a hit out to the Riverside Rapids.
It's good to see so many spectators on the side of the AstroTurf again, watching some world-class club hockey. The Belgotex Elite Club Challenge always brings a crowd. This ball just goes out.
The more aerials we see here tonight, I think the more indecisiveness there's going to be between both teams.
Let's be honest, Pat, I don't see a need for the aerials at the moment. Any team that just makes a couple short passes.
Zalman, Jagger on the ball. just loses control, and he doesn't stop by the looks of him. I haven't had the opportunity to watch too much of the young man this year, but for what I've seen at the under-18 IPT on the live coverage that we were able to watch, and these three chuckers, he does play with an incredible amount of intensity, and his work rate seems to be second to none.
100%. As we see Edwardians win another PC, or they go with another flick. Or was it too early in the tournament to whip out a variation?
I'd like to see them go with Dylan Swanepoel if he's still on the field. You have to back your flickers, to bring you back into the game. I mean, one potentially leads to two, and then we got a game on our hands going into the fourth chukker.
100%. As we see, Riverside ladies getting behind their boys there. It's a mistrap. I'm not sure what the call is there. It's another short corner. Kelly Stack with the crucial touch there.
Great body position from Kelly Stack on that line. Just showing you, as opposed to when you're either committing to the high ball and your team is running a line so that you're covering the high ball, or your team's running a line there which has given you that bottom area to be aware of, and he's done his job fantastically well.
Oh, great flick from Dill Swan, as we said. He's the big threat in this Edwardians team, and that brings him a goal back into this game, Pates.
Yes, Bakes, just what this game needed, I think. It was starting to lose a bit of its oomph, no real purpose, but now we see that with that flick on the highlights, great flick over the postman's head. I think the Riverside will be disappointed with their PCD line there, but they didn't leave Taylor Kelly Stack with much opportunity, but fantastic flick from Dill Swan, and great ball. I don't want to say we have a game on our hands, but it's definitely going to potentially lead to a bit more entertainment.
100%, that's what we're here for. We're here for some entertaining hockey. Let's hope Edwardians have their tails up now and just fight to get back into this game, because another goal would definitely mean they're back in this.
Edwardians just keeping the ball at their back. The midfield seems to be a little bit too far away from their back three there, which could prove to be troublesome if the defenders are trying to make longer balls into those pockets. Any turnover there is going to leave them stranded with their guys at the back.
Edwardians getting more time on the ball and starting to threaten this Riverside defense. Did that go 5? No, it didn't. A bit wasteful there from Edwardians.
Their press is a little bit higher now, which is what we were asking for at the start of the second half. Great anti-miss trap there from Nick Pio. But yeah, the Edwardians are here. Press looks a bit firmer. They've got a bit more spark and a bit more energy on the field. And who knows, we could find ourselves with another PC here in Dill Swanepoel, bringing the game back to 4-2.
Edwardians in for a big ball in. Well, they move at 5. It's going straight out for 16. Edwardians pressing a little bit higher at the moment. Riverside just looking to control the game.
Looking for the error. Great turner by Cody van Wyk from all the Edwardians. They have an opportunity here. Ball smacked a a bit hopelessly into the circle. I like to see them just take a little bit more control on that ball instead of just hopelessly smacking it across into the D. Find a player, make a connection.
100%, that was a great turnover. Yeah, top level turnover like that leads to a goal PC Pates. Edwardians getting a lot of time on the ball at the moment.
Through the man, Swanee. See where they press.
Riverside just coasting through the game at the moment.
Chislett outside till he finds Tails Kelly Stack on the right hand touchline. Back to Chislett, just a slight fumble, but nothing to worry about. The All Edwardians not seeming to put too much pressure, but now they have seen this fumble by Keegan Robertson and apply maximum pressure. Very, very calm and cool defending from a wise head like Keegan Robertson.
Edwardians trying to encourage each other to press a little bit harder and higher as they look to get back into this game. Game's just gone a little bit slow at the moment. I'm looking for some magic from someone just to bring some energy into this game. Andy Robinson.
I think that's the right ball, Bakes. It's really opened up there. I think the striker has just mistimed his run there. I'd like to see him going out and coming back in towards that ball, just to make his deflection line a bit easier. But a great ball there from young Matt Smith. Very threatening. I like those balls personally as a coach. I like my defenders to threaten those lines.
100%. And again, it would be nice to see a couple more players in the D there.
Absolutely, a theme that seems to pop up quite often in these club fixtures. As we spoke about those fetches, everybody wanting to get the ball, but guys, we're looking for players to stay in the circle, to be ready for those 9-yard tap-ins, and it doesn't matter how it goes in. It all says the same goal scorer's name at the end of the day.
100%. Backwards bot, just losing the ball there.
There we go, we have a great counter from Old Edwardians. Bit of a breakaway. Riverside flooding numbers back. Ball across. Great pickup.
Edwardians looking for a goal shot.
And so well finished by Edwardians, number 28 by the looks of it. Fantastic composure by what looks like a young man. As we see the Western Province Cricket Club boys having the worst time at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge.
Definitely looks like they don't want to be up 8. Edwardians with 2 goals in that chucker. You see reserve goalkeeper Joshua Kippen warming up there from Riverside. Is it a big call to bring him on now?
Very, very big call, bringing on the young man for this final quarter. Yeah, what a finish to that. We spoke about the specs. We needed those 2 goals. Old Eds needed those 2 goals. And I'd like to say we have a game on our hands now. 100%. That 2-0 trap, 4-0 trap, don't know. We're starting to remix here a bit.
Yeah, obviously as a Coastals guy, I mean, I want to try and favour the Riverside team. And hopefully they got a bit too much experience to give away a 4-0 lead. But they definitely start looking a bit too comfortable there, and allowing Edwardians back into the game.
As I see Coach Anthony Woodhouse showing the areas of the field where he would like the guys to be playing. I think he's got a spot on there. He's drawn some attacking options on that right-hand side of the field. And I think that's where they've been most threatening, down this right-hand side. And saying that the goal has just come from the left, but in terms of just the bigger picture of their build-up, they've been really strong and attacking down this right-hand side. But let's see what this final chucker has in store for us. Riverside Rapids from Durban leading Old Edwardians from Johannesburg 4-2 in this final game of the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge Day 1. it's just me, Bakes, or has the temperature dropped slightly up in the commentating tower where we sit on the halfway line between the two fields?
100%. Durban's normally the warmest place to be. Bit of a breeze in the air. Got a jacket on, which we normally don't do in Durban. Hopefully this chukka heats things up, mate.
Wonderful comparison, Bakes. Let's hope it does get a bit heated out there. Well, the audience starting really strong again.
Oh,
And that,
going with the long corner.
were they going for a deliberate hit out of the baseline there? I didn't quite see what the older audience were questioning.
100%. But again, maybe a time for a review. Last chukka. 4-2 down. Edwardians looking to get back into this game. Finally some energy to this game. As we see our supporters pulling in your pates.
Fantastic to see, Bakes. A really packed Riverside arena here at Riverside Sports. Fantastic seating, fantastic entertainment for the family. If you got some youngsters, bring them down early. Go grab a burger and chips at Spur. Let the youngsters play on the playground. And if you're older, enjoy a more refreshing beverage from the Riverside Sports Bar.
Got some top class club hockey happening all weekend. As we see national under 18A player Ross Montgomery making his mark on this game. Bruce Grant, doctor with all the experience.
Good turnover from Old Edwardians, but unfortunately double turnover resulting in it giving the possession back to Riverside. Doc Grant on the ball, sends it across, and that has hit Old Edwardians' foot in the circle. They don't seem particularly happy, and I think umpire Sean Rappaport has informed his colleague Eric Etzebeth that is hit the Riverside player's foot before it hit the Old Edwardians' foot.
As we said, top class officials at this tournament, getting the core right, working together.
A great stage for young aspiring umpires to see the quality of this tournament and the quality of hockey that they could themselves one day umpire with a lot of hard work.
100%. Definitely a career to be made as an official. As we see Edwardians pushing to get a third. John T. Robertson again, just killing the attack.
Old Edwardians have definitely found their mojo, Bakes. They look a completely different side from that first half. And it's the high press, in my opinion. They're making Riverside make decisions, and they not necessarily turning the ball over themselves all the time, but when you start asking teams to do stuff, that's when you start getting positions.
100%. A higher press now starting to pay off and just lead to Riverside being slightly more uncomfortable, as we see Ross Montgomery get a second card for the game.
It looked like a
It's
yellow.
another great ball.
For the first time, Riverside looking a little bit shaky. Bakes.
100% Edwardians need to get outcomes from entries like that. Get a shot on target, force the keeper to save, or at least win the short corner. As they look to get back into this game. Riverside with the player down. Some great skills here from Edwardians. Jeepers.
It looks like Chad Burke on the ball, having a field day in this right-hand touchline. Just too much diving in from Riverside, gentlemen. Great tackle, Keegan Robinson. Absolute sand shark in defense.
And probably using his experience, just to slow things down. Being aware his team's under the pump at the moment. And with the card, Donna Small, Jess Lardens getting in on the action here.
Belgotex Elite Club Challenge caters for all. Great pick by John C. Robertson.
Pates, after some day one action, in your opinion, who are some teams to watch this weekend?
Thanks. I was highly impressed with the last 10 minutes that I caught of the Western Province Cricket Club badges. They look really organised, and I think will be one of the teams to beat, alongside Wanderers, who look fantastic in their game against Kersney. They did all the hard work in the first half, quite similar to what Riverside have looked like they've done here. And then obviously you can never count the hosts out with that kind of start. They showed their quality at the start of this game. It's got a bit messy, but I'm pretty sure they should be able to close it out tonight. So yeah, Riverside, Western Province Cricket Club and Wanderers. Don't ask me who my money is on, but one of those three.
100%. As Old Airs look to get back into this game. This game just got a little bit loose. Both teams just struggling to keep on the ball. As Dill Chappie just goes off his feet there.
I think the players need to be a bit careful here. When a game gets loose like this and one team is chasing in particular, often some rash and irrational tackles come out, and you don't want to fill up your card numbers in the first game of a tournament like this.
John T looking to connect. Edwardians running a free hit there. It's a great sound deep in the corner there, Pates. As Sean Baker gets on the ball. Not often you see Sean Baker missing the target with a free shot from top D. And that's probably why Coach Justin Collins is calling him off.
Sometimes as coaches we resort to that, if you score a goal you come off, but it looks like Justin Collins has gone with the other way around. If you miss it, you need to come and think about what you've done. But very strange to see Sean Bakes missing a target from the top of the D. Normally very clinical. But going back to that sound you are hearing in the bottom right hand corner, it is the Western Province Cricket Club badges having the time of their lives here on this first evening at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. And it looks like we're in for another card. Riverside, 2 men down.
It's another yellow card for Riverside. Just lacking a bit of discipline from the younger players.
Let's see.
Edwardians. Good ball in.
All the Edwardians really need to high press straight away now. You could almost man up on the Riverside back 3 or back 5, and then outletting wise, hopefully they're going to push a midfielder up into a higher line and really look to find the overlap, which they should have somewhere on the field. They just need to find it. Kelly Stack looks long for Matt Smith. The connection is not there. And Vishen Governor unfortunately mistraps it. Makamaki getting the play going really quickly. And Old Edwardians going to be pushing for one more at least to bring them back to 4-3. And then who knows what can go down.
Chanty Robinson showing his experience yet again.
We've definitely said his name a few times this evening. He seems to be all over the show at what looks like free centre back.
Good ball in. And it's a third goal for Edwardians. Pates, we got a game in our hand here.
We have a game on our hands, Bakes. This is what the crowd is here for. Not to see goals going in against Riverside Hockey Club, but this kind of fixture. High quality club hockey, lots of goals. We've seen 7, 14, 15 goals in the last 2.5 hours of hockey here at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. And this is what it is about.
Are we seeing the 4-0 trap here, Pate?
It would be my first time, Bakes, to see a 4-0 trap.
There's 2 cards hurting Riverside. Let's see one of the players getting back on the field. Riverside still a player down. 4-3. A couple minutes to go, yeah.
And 5 minutes in this modern hockey is more than enough time to get some sort of outcome, whether it be a penalty corner or even the equalizer.
As we see Mitchell Jagger.
Really young guy, but showing some really composed play there. Nick Pierre outside to Matt Butler, carrying it into the Old Edwardians 22. Leg down on the ground. Very lucky, in my opinion. The Old Edwardians player doesn't get penalised with the penalty corner there.
Good old long barrier.
Great use at under 13 cricket, that long barrier, but unfortunately modern hockey gets you in a little bit of trouble in that area of the pitch.
Riverside again, just looking to slow this game down. Waiting to get back to numbers. As they're looking to close this game off.
See, 4 minutes is still a lot of time for Old Edwardians, and it's a tough time for Riverside in particular, with 2 men off, to be trying to close out a game. You're going to be under pressure. Keep it. Jagger making a really good decision to keep it in the outside channels.
Matt Smith connecting Nick Pio. Riverside look to transfer to Adam Chislett. Ooh.
I've really enjoyed the play of Nick Pio in the midfield for Riverside this evening. He's really facilitated transfer so well, done exactly what a central midfielder is required to do. And it's but what looks to be like a really calm and composed midfielder.
100%. This one just going at the hero option, middle of nowhere. I'd like to see Edwardians. It's a great ball through to Sean Baker.
Great save from the Edwardians keeper.
Looks like it's starting to rain a bit here, Pate.
Yes, we can see the drops. Very strange this time of the year in the #1 province. We rarely see any sort of precipitation this time of the year, but obviously just coming to cool things down a bit on the field. Starting to get a little bit heated, with 3 minutes to go in this last fixture of the evening on day 1 of the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge.
Anthony Woodhouse taking the keeper off. Kind of the last roll of the dice. I played against him recently, Pate, 3-0 up. At an 18 level, he took the keeper off and got the game back to 3-2. So he definitely knows how to take the keeper off and use it well.
It's good to see. It means all the Wardians are coming for a result here. And as you can see, there is plenty of space available for them if they can get something out of here, and that is close. Good tackle by, looks like our man Nick Pio on the ball again. Cody van Wyk.
Oh, some good energy here from Edwardians as they look to get back in the game. Max Caldes, Justin Collins, looking a bit stressed on the side of the field there.
Yeah, Coach Justin Collins definitely have a few words with his boys after this being 4-0 up, and to let the opposition come back to score 3 goals, possibly more, is he won't be too happy with it, knowing the standards that Justin sets for his team. Riverside on the counter, and a great ball and phenomenal finish. Sean Baker. Great ball threaded through for Mitch Jagger, and a wonderful finish from Sean Baker. It is the risk you take, unfortunately. Bakes taking your keeper off. But if you're pushing for the result, you don't have much choice.
Yeah, it's good to see player and coach with that type of connection. Again, Mitchell Jagger just showing his class. It's a great ball through. Incredible ball through.
Through the eye of a needle. Wow. From such a young student to a coach and mentor that he's had for a number of years at Northwood Boys High School here in Durban. Just, yeah, phenomenal. Really phenomenal. And I think, Bakes, that could nearly be the end of it. I struggle to see Ed scoring 2 goals to get a point out of this game.
100% as I look to bring the keeper back on the field.
As we see the ball roll out, John T. Robertson, with all his experience, we will not see him taking this free hit very quickly. And he's already taken in the wrong position.
All of a sudden, not sure where to take the hit, showing his experience. Oh, that's the Falcon. Let's hope he's okay.
Unfortunate for old Edwardian to right off. Ball off the stick onto his head, but he looks okay. He looks like a strong guy. I'm sure he could take it.
As he wins the ball back. And Edwardians.
Great one-touch hockey by Edwardians. Where was more of this in that first half from them?
100%. Opting for the long ball a little bit too often in that first 3 chuckers. Kelly Stack. Oh, you can't miss those shoes from anywhere. Backwards bot.
Oh, calm and composed from Riverside, number 14, Tanner Bottomley. Matt Butler on the ball for Riverside. Play it deep, and that he does, intercepted by all Edwardians. 40 seconds to go. Riverside don't look like they are finished here.
Riverside pressing for more goals. Maybe I think goal difference could be a thing. Oh my word.
Great skill from number 9, Chad Burke.
Justin Collins.
Nice to see that smile back on his face with that 5th goal there, Bakes.
100%. As we see Daryl Lotter look to get on the ball here. Take a free hit quickly.
And that is that. That concludes the final game of day 1 at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge 2020 to Riverside Hockey Club from Durban, taking the victory over Old Edwardians 5-2. We started with a 4-0 up at halftime, and Old Edwardians fought their way back with 3 fantastic goals, put the Riverside men under a hell of a lot of pressure, and yeah, a just reward for their pressure. Riverside got a couple things to take out of that second half, Bakes, that their coach Justin Collins won't be particularly happy about.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, they got away with the win. Some good coaching points, to talk about going to the rest of the games in this tournament. I mean, a great start, and maybe they just settled a little bit too early. These are the best clubs around the country. I don't think you can settle in any of these games, Pates.
Absolutely, we are in for a spectacle of hockey for the remainder of the weekend. Remember to catch these games live on the Super Sports Schools app. All the fixtures on this Turf 1 will be live streamed tomorrow. Put the times and the dates in your diaries and don't miss out on any of this fantastic hockey. This is club hockey at its finest at the Belgotex Elite Club Challenge. Michael Baker, thank you for joining me in this final game, and I hope to see you in the commentary box in the next 2 days.
Thank you, Pates.